Hi everyone, Quiveen here from the comfort of my kitchen. In today's video we are going to take a more general look ahead to the month of March. Of course we've got some eclipses coming up, which is very exciting. We have both a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse if you are in the right part of the planet. Even though the parade of planets is over, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter and Mars, they're all going to look great. So we have lost Saturn. But if anything, it is easier to see Mercury now, or in March. It will be easier to see Mercury for the first week or so of March than it was to see Mercury with Saturn while the parade of planets was going on. So if you really want to get a look at Mercury, now is actually a better time. Mercury won't stay in the sky for very long. Of course, neither will Venus. Mercury is coming up to its greatest elongation, but that's still not very long. It's still not in the sky for a very long time. Here we have still the early part of March, so we have a little bit of light from the moon. The moon just came out from being new as we got into the beginning of March. So now, looking at the sky here, let's push it back to just 7:30. And I know that Orion will be, pretty much dead center. So here we are, 7:30. The sun's just after going down. We've got Mars and Jupiter nice and high, pretty much either side of due south. We've got Venus low to the west, but nice and bright. Orion is there pretty much in its peak position. Coming into March, Orion will be up at its highest in the south just as the sky is coming up to its darkest. So we are really going to be losing Orion moving forward. You can see there Orion is already past the south with the sunlight into the sky by the middle of March, and as we come up to the end of March, Orion will be appearing very much in the southwest. So the sky is really changing as we come past the equinox, which is of course coming up this month as well. We have the March or vernal equinox coming up. We'll get ourselves back to about 7:30 there. So the sky is going to be changing very quickly, but we've got these constellations now, Gemini, Taurus, these constellations that were featuring quite prominently over the course of February because Mars and Jupiter are right there in them. They are coming up to their peak and they will be moving past that peak as we get through March. So March is really a fantastic time to look for those. And as always, it's a fantastic time to head out to the countryside. Every time is a fantastic time to head out to the countryside. You'll get a significantly better view. If we come back a little bit earlier here, just to the beginning of March, the moon will be pretty much out of the way as early as, let's say, 8 o'clock. Let's go to 8 o'clock. Venus there, I mentioned in a recent video, and it was mentioned on a comment on a recent video, that Venus on a clear dark moonless night, when Venus is bright, it's bright enough to cast a shadow. And you can kind of get that effect looking over here. We can see that there's a fair portion of the sky there illuminated by Venus. It is incredibly, incredibly bright. Not bright enough to obscure the Milky Way. As we move later in the month, we'll see the moon coming past full there. It will be able to obscure the Milky Way. But that's partly because we're looking at the outer limb of the Milky Way here. This is the outer part of the Milky Way. Coming down in this direction is where we come up to the core of the Milky Way. And we are not yet, we are not yet at the time of year where the summer triangle is rising in the east as the sun sets in the west. The summer triangle will begin to do that for summertime, and of course, now that we're past the vernal equinox, or passing the vernal equinox in March, we are getting closer and closer to that point, but we are certainly not there yet. Moving through the night here on the 1st of March, we can see the faint arm of the Milky Way setting over to the west. Venus is gone, Jupiter following it now, Mars following it a little bit later. There's Vega, the top of the summer triangle, after coming up, and we can see the plough of the Big Dipper pretty much reaching the zenith there at about 2:45 in the morning. So that tells us that the plough of the Big Dipper will be quite low earlier in the evening. And here we have it, we're just starting to get it. This was quite difficult in February. The glow of the sun is going to start creeping over the horizon any minute now. We are 5:20 in the morning, so by 6-7 o'clock we're really going to start getting some sunlight over there in the east. But we're starting to see some of the core of the Milky Way. If you can stay awake late enough, if you can stay awake or get up early enough, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, then you will have that glow of the Milky Way there. And we're seeing it Yeah, until just about 6 o'clock, it's starting to fade away. At 6 o'clock, it's gone a little afterwards because we have that glow of the sun coming back into the sky. Now, if we were to move ahead from here, looking at the morning sky here on the 2nd of March at about 6:30, moving ahead, we're getting closer to summer. So, of course, the sky is going to get that bit brighter. There's Venus coming back into view. So, Venus orbits the sun so quickly, we're losing Venus on one side and then getting it back on the other quite soon afterwards. There's the summer triangle really clear here in the morning for March. But if we pull back a little bit, there's the moon, kind of ruining things. But we can see that the glow of the Milky Way would be there if it wasn't for that full moon. So we'll move through. The moon will come right through where the core of the Milky Way would be. Now, of course, the moon is less than full at this point. Yeah, we're coming up to our last quarter moon there. So there we go, the last quarter moon with the glow of the Milky Way around it. And Sagittarius on one side, Scorpius on the other. That looks quite nice. It doesn't look like we're getting an occultation of Antares there or anything, but that's okay. We'll continue to move forward to the end of the month. As I mentioned in the last video, the last video was an Irish language video, but I mentioned that we are having a solar eclipse. I will deal with that solar eclipse as we come closer. But of course, a solar eclipse happens during a new moon. No moon in the sky. We are closer to summer, but we can see the glow of the Milky Way there at just about 20 to 5, 4:30, 20 to 5 in the morning. And it'll be staying there, rising much earlier, closer to 2 or 3. So we've got a lot longer to see the core of the Milky Way there in the morning once we're through to the end of March. Not so possible in the beginning of March because the sun is still rising so close to the location of the center of the Milky Way, and not really possible in the middle of March due to that full moon, the full moon where we are going to get a lunar eclipse of some sort. Now, while we are looking at the sky here in the countryside for the end of the month, I know that there's not any particular meteor showers in the beginning of March. Whoa, went a little bit too fast there. So we've got the antihelion. Of course, we always have the antihelion. That's always going to be providing us with some meteors. There's always some meteors coming through the sky. But it does look like, for the entire month of March, we're not seeing the radiance of any particularly big meteor showers, but that's okay. A few background meteor showers is fine, especially when we have such interesting things as the lunar eclipse coming up, as well as the solar eclipse. Over the course of this month, I will be going through a lot of the information in Irish. You can expect a couple of Irish videos coming up this month because Seachtain na Gaeilge is running this month. So if you're interested in Irish language videos, I will have quite a few of them coming. If you are not an Irish speaker, if you're not a Gaeilgeoir, then those videos will be subtitled. So you will still be able to get the information out of the Irish language videos when they come up. They will all have subtitles. And of course, I cover the same information regularly. As I go through the month, I'll mention, I mentioned the eclipses in the last video that was in Irish. I mentioned them in this video, even though we didn't look at them. We'll take a closer look at them coming up near the end of the month as well. So when I take a look at the upcoming lunar eclipse, if I take a look at the upcoming lunar eclipse in Irish, I will, I'll definitely talk about lunar eclipses again in English at some point, and I already have in previous videos on my YouTube channel. But if you don't want to wait, if you don't want to go back, there will be subtitles, so you'll be able to see them like that at least. We can see Mercury and Venus there nice and close together as we come up to the 13th. So this is past Mercury's greatest elongation, but that actually brings Venus lower in the sky, a little bit closer to it as well. In a dark countryside sky, they're still nice and easy to see there, even by, even if we get a little bit further into the future there by the 14th, they're very low in the sky, but despite the thickness of the atmosphere, there's so little sunlight, it won't make too much of a difference. We have Uranus there, and we are going to have Uranus the whole way through March. As long as you're willing to wait for darkness and get out your telescope, we can see that Uranus is still there even as we come up to the very end of next month. And we can see Jupiter and Mars are still there as well, but looking at sunset at the end of the month, here we are, March 31st, looking all the way ahead. And Mars is already past south once the sky is getting dark. If we were to come back into the city, here we go. And this, of course, technically a suburban level of light pollution, not even as dark as many cities. We can see here as the sun is setting, we probably won't catch a glimpse of Venus. No, Venus is around into morning time. We can see by the time the sky is getting dark, Mars, Jupiter, the moon, they're already very much over in the west. So the time to look at the planets, if you want to see the most of the planets in the best possible way, this is the month to do it, especially the early part of March. If you want to catch Mercury, Venus is going to be nice and bright as we come through March, and then we've got Jupiter and Mars. They are going to stay with us for another couple of months. They are still going to be in the evening sky for a while, but lower and lower. We're really coming past the moment where they are now at their peak. So I hope that you enjoyed this more general overview of the sky in March. If you did enjoy it, please do like this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you can also read some of this information on my website, queevinscontent.ie, if you'd like to check that out as well. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time.